episode 36 of Mount Hope Sports Complex Talk Sports to Me. I'm your host, the Sports Guru. This week, we have had an incredible series thus far. Talking Coach Buechler, Berto Allen, and Coach Pickerel from Eastern Brown High School. Tonight, we will be joined by another man who has had a long, illustrious coaching career, who has also started from the bottom and worked his way to the top, and Coach Randy Casey. Thanks for joining us on episode 35. This episode is brought to you by Mount Hope Sports Complex and Anchor.fm. You can follow us at the following in syndication: Twitter at Talk Sports to Me 1, Instagram at Talk Sports to Me TM, and Facebook at Talk Sports to Me. This week, we have talked about coaching. The title of this series is The Coach's Corner. And during the series, we have talked about a lot of different things in regards to what it is that coaches have to do to establish, develop, create, and manage programs. Every coach at every program wants to have a highly successful program. Nobody's coaching to lose. And we need to be clear on that, because I think a lot of times people have a misconception that coaches are always just supposed to do the right thing necessarily, ethically, and not ever focus on the winning phase. And something I'm going to talk to Coach Casey tonight about is coaches are hired to be fired. And nobody or no administration ever hires a coach and just says, this guy is a lifer and we're going to sign him to a lifetime contract. That very rarely happens. This is Teachers Week, and we talked about the importance of coaches being teachers. And something that I want to talk to Coach Casey about tonight when he joins us is the difference between teaching and instructing, because there's a big difference. A lot of coaches are instructors and not teachers. And those programs where coaches are instructors and not teachers, those coaches oftentimes are successful, but they have a lot of different stops just based on the fact that they're really good at instructing players that are really good, but they have to follow talent, because when they don't have the talent, oftentimes it doesn't allow them to be able to instruct lesser talented teams to be competitive. And so without further ado, I want to bring in tonight's guest. This is a man that I've developed a relationship with over the past several years. My cousin Jaron was there with him at Athens Prep, Believe Prep, T&G Prep. It's had a couple of different names there. But he was there, and he was one of the founders of the program in terms of the original coaching staff and the original thought process and the original development of the program there in Tennessee. This man has also worked at Pikeville College as an assistant coach with Coach Kelly Wells, who we had on 2 weeks ago during our Through the Eyes of a Champion series. And he talked to us about Coach Casey briefly and just spoke on how much of an asset he was to have in his program. This man is a family man, but this man is also a man that I spoke with earlier this afternoon, and we discussed how much time, when you want to be good at your craft of this thing of coaching, how much time it takes away from your loved ones. We'll talk about that some tonight. He has had success. He is now at Wesley Christian, and he's going to give us the inside scoop on the prep school route, because everyone thinks they have all the answers to the prep school route, and every senior and every high school student thinks to reclassify and go post-grad prep is the way to do it, and it's just not always the answer. And so, Coach Casey, Coach Randy Casey, thanks for joining us today. How's your quarantine treating you?
Man, it's great to be with you, Jason, but I will promise you, you know me for a long time. I can't sit still, and it's driving me crazy. I can't get in the gym. I can't do anything. I've watched everything on Netflix. I've watched everything there is on Amazon Prime. So I'm ready to get outside and do something, but I can't. It's got to go.
I get it. I'm in the same boat. I talked to you this morning, and then as soon as I got off the phone, I tucked my tail and I ran to the golf course. And I was there pretty much all afternoon until about an hour ago. I came home and took a nap and prepared to talk to you. The first thing I want to talk to you about is your overall coaching experience in terms of kind of where you started and how you maturated and how you developed to get to the point to where you are currently.
Well, it goes back a long, long time ago, man. I'm an old guy, and old head, as everybody calls me. So it's what Jared calls me, an old head. But anyway, back in the day, I started at Maywood High School in West Virginia. Was a 6'5", 6'6", 160-pound guy coming out of high school. Had a good career in high school, athletic type guy. But then, all right, I want to play at college level. All right, nobody's recruiting me. What do I do? All right, so I had some folks tell me, hey, you need to check out Fort Junior Military Academy. So I was fortunate. Coach Aaron up there took me for a year. I go from 6'5", 165 to 6'6", 205, and had some offers to play college basketball, and was fortunate to play on a college level. And developed a love for the game, and just over and over and over in the gym and outside and whatever. This is what I want to do. This is my passion. I love it. Watch it on TV, whatever. And it just became, something that consumed me, and something that I always wanted to do. And when I got out of college, I'm like, my parents are like, what are you going to do? You're going to go to law school? What are you going to do this, that, and the other? I'm like, no, I want to be a coach and a teacher. They're like, my mom looked at me like I had six heads. No, you need to go to law school. No, I'm not, Mom. I'm going to be a coach and a teacher. And that's the way it started out. And I was fortunate to hook on with Coach Randall Justice at Belfry High School. And we had some good young players that developed into great players. We were in Kentucky. We went to the state tournament the first 3 years. I was an assistant coach. One time we went to the Elite Eight, and within a couple of points of going to the Final Four. I had a 23-year-old assistant coach. I thought we were supposed to do that every year. And as I've gotten older, I learned to appreciate how special that was, and also worked for a guy in Raymond Justice who allowed me to grow. Here, Coach, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I need those guys to be able to do. Go get it done. Here's how I want you to do it. Go get it done. Here's your responsibility. And he allowed me to go as a coach, and every piece of success I have today, he has to take a big part of that, because he's allowed me to become a coach that now I allow my guys, and in turn allowed him to grow as a coach and to coach a team. So that's kind of how it started for me.
I think one of the things that we need, that I really want to dig deep off into tonight is the prep school forum. People don't understand it. People think that if you're coming out of high school and you don't have any other choice or any other option, you should go to prep school. But prep school is not the relief or not the escape from not taking care of your business in high school. You still have to be almost qualified to play Division I or Division II basketball. You still have to be almost qualified. And when I say almost qualified, I mean you got to have a minimum of 15 core credit classes to fix one class while you're at prep school. You got to have your hours or whatever it is that you need, and your classes that you need, and your GPA that you need. If you don't have all that, going to prep school is not going to fix all that. It's just going to help you and guide you more closer to that direction. How much of a misconception do people have of what the purpose of prep school is?
Man, the first thing you said there, you hit upon it early. The NCAA will allow, on a post-grad level, for a young man to have a duo, a mulligan, whatever, you see you're on a golf course, a mulligan, for one class. In one class only. So if a kid comes in to me and I see his transcript and he's got a 1.9 or something like that, I'm like, man, you probably need to go on to junior college, because we can't. There's nothing we can do with that. We can fix one class. we're not fixed, but we can help that kid take that class over, whether it's geometry, math, whatever it is. And then the main thing we can do is help them with the ACT. We can do ACT prep, things of that nature on a post-grad level. And that's really where we hit home with them. But the post-grad year is designed for a young man, kind of like me. I was 17 years old coming out of high school, 165 pounds. It's designed for somebody to mature physically, mature as a basketball player, things of that nature. If you come out of high school and your transcript a train wreck, then you're wasting your time trying to go to prep, and you're wasting your parents' money trying to send you to prep.
Right. It's not a rescue year. It's a growth year. It's not a rescue year. We talk, from time to time, and we talk about culture, and we talk about the development of building your program, and instilling your life philosophies in the young men that you impact. And, something that a person that we both know, a good friend of mine, Coach Ken French, he'll be on the show later in the week, but something that we always talk about is every day you should empower someone. Every day of your life, you should empower someone. And I think a lot of times as coaches, that we spend so much time focused on the task at hand, which is developing a successful program, that we get away from the empowerment phase. How important is it to empower young men and young women and the youth and adolescents that we come into contact with? How important is that to empower them?
It's very important, man. On the level, either on the high school level, on the national level, like we play now here at Wesley, or on the post-grad level, a young man has to have the confidence that he's doing things the right way. And the thing with kids is if they can learn to love the game, then practice becomes easy. They get to practice. They don't have to practice. And we talk about that all the time with these guys. What makes you different? Okay, you're 6'3", you're a 6'3" two guard from Maysville, Kentucky. Okay, guess what? There's another 2,000 of you in the country. Another 2,000 of you in the country. What makes you different? Okay. All right. Are you willing to basketball? Are you willing to dive on the field? Do you take a charge? Are you a great teammate? Is your body language good? Are you coachable? Do you go to class? Do you do all the things like that? Those are the things that separate. And with that, in my opinion, that's how you empower a young man. Is we educate them on, okay, you've got to be different because there's another 2,000 of you out there that are trying for the same scholarship that you are. And if you're not different, then you're not going to get recruited. And that's the thing we talk about with all of our guys, on whatever level they're on, is, okay, all right, you're going to line you up. There's 2,000 of you across the country. Why is X university, why is Xavier going to recruit you over these other guys? And that goes with, in talking about empowerment, that goes with what extra stuff are you willing to do? You won't just have practice for 2 hours. Are you willing to get in there and shoot after practice for another hour? Are you willing to do extra work in a weight room? Are you willing to do what's, okay, you didn't do a good job with that geometry class. All right? Are you willing to take that D and make it a B? Are you willing to take that ACT score from a 15 to a 19 or a 20? Are you willing to do those things? If you are, then you're going to have a chance. If you're not, then you're just going to be like everybody else, and you're not going to get recruited.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the outcome for the everybody else's is the statistic for the everybody else's is a whole lot higher than it is for the guys that get recruited. And a lot of it doesn't come down to basketball skill, basketball IQ, basketball ability. It comes down to the ability to do everything else that comes with being great. And something that we talk about a lot is if you're going to be great at something, you got to win the day. We talked about that before. You got to win the day every day. And even if it's a day where you're not playing basketball, you still have to win the day, And I think that so many times our young people are only concerned with winning the day and whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish, that they forget about everything else that comes with winning the day. Because being a champion doesn't just mean being a champion and what it is that you're doing at this specific time. And I think that's one of the things that I picked up on from watching the Last Dance with Michael Jordan. If he was going to play golf, he wanted to beat whoever he was playing. If he was playing cards, he wanted to beat whoever he was playing. If Phil gave them a day off and he went to the casino, he wanted to beat the dealers. He wanted to win every single day. And that's the epitome of a champion, is wanting to win every single day. So let's just take a couple of minutes and talk about your time in Athens and at Believe, and you were one of the founding fathers of that program with Coach Donnie Tyndall in terms of getting that program started, and you were the coach, and you guys went out and found some players and really got that thing jump started to where it had turned into something special. How was that experience, and how difficult was that mending that thing, putting that thing together?
Man, it was extremely difficult. We started the thing like, okay, what do we have to do? All right, who are we going to play? Who are we going to recruit? All those type things. And we identified some kids, and we were able to get some kids in there. They were able to buy in, and we had a great year. We ended up winning 28 games. Several of those guys off that team ended up playing college basketball. But the thing about prep is this. The thing I found out is, for every good guy out there doing it, there's two other guys out there just taking people's money. And you got to, as a parent and as a player, you got to be able to understand who is doing it the right way, who is placing kids, who's not placing kids. All right, sure, we'll go there. Tuition at our place is $10,000 or whatever it may be. They're going to charge us $8,000, so we'll go there. Okay, yeah, that's great. But are they going to feed you? Are they going to plate you? Are you going to be playing the schedule? What all the things you need to do? And we've been fortunate. We started that thing, and right now today, and as I got two more guys right now I've already signed here this year. We've got 33 guys playing college basketball today. Right now, we got 33 guys. We've got Dexter Dennis at Wichita State, Joel and Twombe at Texas Tech. We've got Devin Cambridge was a sixth man this year for Auburn, in SEC, big boy basketball. And we've got them all the way on every level. We've got kids at UPike. We've got kids all over the country and all over the level. But we've been fortunate to have a bunch of kids that kind of believed in what we're trying to do, and their vision was the same as ours, and they bought in, and we were able to coach them up. Whatever issue they were having academically, if they were close, we were able to help them, and we were able to get them signed, and now they're using basketball to pay for their education. 2, 3, 4 years from now, they're going to come out of college with zero student loans and ready to take on the world, and whether it may be playing basketball or in the business world or whatever, they're ready to go.
Right. You're very passionate about what you do, and you're very passionate about kids. You're very passionate about the game of basketball. But one thing that I know about you is that you like things done the right way. You like to see things done the right way. And you will put your passion for the game and winning aside to make sure that life lessons are learned. How important are life lessons throughout the course of trying to manifest a solid young man?
But more important than anything we do, Jason. More important, the big picture. The big picture is this. The statistics will say, the numbers will say, kids have got a better chance of being struck by lightning than playing in the NBA. That's a statistical reality. Okay, all right. So now, what are we going to do? We're going to use basketball to get our education. We're going to use basketball to break that cycle. Nobody in your family went to college. Okay, you're going to be the first one. Nobody graduated. You're going to be the first one. Nobody does anything but this. You're going to be the first one. And when a kid, my champion, I've been doing this a long time. My championship is this. My big reward is when a kid calls me and says, "Coach, graduation's May 18th. Can you make it up? Well, I'm going to make it this year. Or, Coach, I got a job at so and so and so and so. By the way, my wife's having a baby, and our family. Those things are my rewards, and it's the saying my good friend Terry Jackson always says, it's bigger than basketball. Mm-hmm. We use basketball to learn life lessons, but it's ultimately about life. And if we lose sight of that, then we're not doing I'm not doing my job if I don't teach a kid through basketball how to be a better person and how to be a better citizen and how to be a good dad. All those things. If I don't use the game to teach those kids that, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Well, you brought up, and I was going to bring him up later, but we can go ahead and speak on him now. Terry Jackson, for anyone that doesn't know, is from a small town in West Virginia, I believe.
Yep.
And he was a very good high school basketball player, played on a team with some very good players. They were able to make a state tournament run in West Virginia. And he is in Columbus, Ohio now. And he came to some of our Camp One events. And my cousin Julius introduced me to Terry and said, this is Terry Jackson. Good dude. His son is Jay right there. So I met Jay. And you college coaches out there, if you're looking for a 3.8, 3.9 student, a kid that's going to be on time every day, a kid that's going to be the first one in the gym and the last one to leave, a kid that's going to be in the weight room, a kid that's going to guard 94 feet for you, a kid that's going to really grind for 4 years for you. If you're looking for that kid, go find Jalen Jackson in Columbus, Ohio at I got to think of the school. It'll come back to me.
Centennial, maybe?
Centennial. He's at Centennial. For all you college coaches, if you're looking for that kid is in Columbus at Centennial High School. He'll be a senior next year, I believe. He is a grinder. He's been to our Camp One events. He's been to Hard Work Camp. Everything that is basketball related, he's been to some of our Nike events. When I was working for US Sports Camps and Nike, he was there. Everywhere that there's basketball being played, he's there. And the thing about this kid is he never says a word. He just grinds. If it's a week long, he grinds. If it's a day long, he grinds. If it's a weekend, he grinds. And he loves to guard the ball 94 feet. Here's the kicker. His dad, Terry, is not one of those people that are good in jail. He's invested in everything in the city of Columbus that nobody else believes in. So there's kids in Columbus that don't get offers or that nobody comes to watch play, and he's in the gym with them at 5:30 in the morning before school. And now these kids are All-Americans at the JUCO level at Columbus State. They don't need to go far away from home. And something that Terry always tells me is go where you're wanted. Play at any level. That's his quote. Play at any level. Like he's preaching to kids to play at any level. And Jalen's going to do that because he is a grinder. So I'm glad you brought him up because I was going to mention his name in a little bit. But if you're in the city of Columbus and you need training, first-class training from a guy that really is invested in the youth, get a hold of Terry Jackson. He's on Facebook. And if you're a college coach and you need a kid that's going to do everything right, get a hold of Jalen Jackson, because those two people in Columbus, they're a class act, both of them. Let's move on. Let's talk about your Pikeville University days with Coach Wells. I had the opportunity to meet Coach Wells in 1998, I believe it was. And people don't know this. I don't think I've ever told you this, Coach Casey, but he applied for the job at my high school in 1996 right out of Morehead State. He had never been a head coach before. He had never coached before. And he applied for a head coaching job, and they didn't hire him. They passed on him for Tom Jutzy, who had a couple of years of varsity experience. And Kelly goes to Marion County. He wins. He takes him to the state tournament. He ends up at Mason County, and the rest has kind of been history since that. But tell us about your experience with Coach Wells and how that helped put you in a position to lead such a prominent post-grad program?
Well, first of all, Kelly and I played at Emory Henry in Virginia, but I came back and got my education degree from Morehead State University. And Kelly and I became friends down there. When I was down there in school, finishing up, and Kelly, along with Kurt Young, and Kurt, who's the head coach at Frederick Douglass,
right.
The three of us, for 2 years, we were inseparable in college, and we formed that relationship. And those guys were like my brother. Heck, I was in Coach wedding. And, I was at Belfry for all those years, and we had a lot of success there. But, my experience at Belfry had run its course. I was looking for something new. And Kelly calls me up and says, hey, I watched you guys play last night. I said, you're ready to make a change. Come on to me. And, we meet the next day and talk, and the next thing you know, I'm with him. The thing that Kelly did and still does, even though now that he's no longer, he moved away from the coaching arena, is he provides a situation where it's so positive that everybody can grow. Everything. He'll tell a kid the truth. Here's what you need to do. You're not doing this, and this. But it's such a positive experience for every player. You're not afraid to make plays. You're not afraid to make mistakes. And those are some things that I learned from him. And we brought it every day in practice. And one of the things he used to say is, listen, these guys are tired today. We've got to get this work done. They're not going to win today. They're not going to win today. We're going to win. And in the big picture, we all are going to win. And, that's some things I heard from him. Bring it. And again, I learned also from Raymond Justice, bring it every day. Energy level as the head coach, you've got to bring it every day. And your assistants will feed off of it. Your players will feed off of it. Your whole program feeds off of it. If you're ready to go and you've got great body language, they're going to do the same thing. If you don't feel good, you're feeling sorry for yourself, or your leg hurts, or whatever, you got a cough or whatever, you're not going to get done what you need to be done. Be getting done. And, we were fortunate to have some assistant coaches there that did a great job of recruiting some guys, and then we coached them up, and, we made it to the Elite Eights, Final Fours, all those type of things with him, and it was a great experience for me as well. And after being a high school head coach for all those years, it kind of rejuvenated me and re-energized me and got me back ready to go. And now I was ready to go anyway, but still it was very refreshing for me. And as a coach and as a player, if the day you think you know everything about the game is the day you need to quit. Mm-hmm. You've got to grow every day, and I try to be a little bit better every day as with my craft and what I do than I was yesterday. And I learned that from philosophy, X's and O's, whether it be whatever it may be, life skills, whatever. You try to be a little bit better each day. And not only win the day, but improve on the day as well. And those type of things are the things I learned while being with him, as well as, like I said, our friendship was unbelievable. I could probably, in the office, I could probably say things to him that the other assistant coaches could not do. He'd probably cuss him out or something. He'd probably get cussed, but he'd probably say, no, shut up. But, and things I could say. And it was a great situation for us. And we were fortunate to have great players and nothing but good things about my time there.
Were you there for that 2011 national championship, or had you not got there yet?
I came the year after.
Okay.
I came the year after.
Okay.
Next year, we went to the Elite Eight. We also were undefeated. That was the year that we went undefeated in Mid-South. We never done ever again. It may not ever be done again. We went undefeated. We didn't lose a game in the regular season, and we won the Mid-South Conference tournament. So, and then we get out to Kansas City playing well. And a talent, I'll never forget this. Talladega, kid on not even on the scouting report, late towards the end of the game, they fouled 4 or 5 of their kids fouled out. It was a battle. The ball scored through, she was down in the corner, and she's a corner and out of bounds and beats us with 3 seconds. So I feel like that we would have, and I think he would tell you this too. I feel like that we won that game. That was the Elite Eight game. We feel like that was probably a better team than the 2011 team. talent, all the way around. But we feel like we would have won that championship that year. But again, it doesn't always come down to just talent. It comes down to luck. It comes down to how hard you work, all those things. But it was still a great experience for all of us.
For all of our coaches that are listening out there, just a few more questions, and for the first one is for all of our coaches out there. If you had to talk about how to overcome entitlement with players that play for you and with coaches that may coach for you, guys think that players think that they're too good. It's D1 or D2 or bust. Coaches are the same way. They think it's D1 or D2 or bust. And guys just don't want to work, and guys just don't want to grind. Guys just, they want it, but they don't want it the hard way, And what would be your advice to those guys?
Go see. My advice is, okay, you think that D3 basketball is not very good. You think NAIA basketball is not very good. Go watch. Go see for yourself. We and being at Pikeville there, that was in my home area, being from Belfry, which is 30 minutes away. I'd have people call me, coaches call me, say, hey, you should be recruiting my guy, so-and-so and so-and-so. And we're like, well, okay, tell me why we should be recruiting him. Well, he's this, and this. And, oh, by the way, you're just Pikeville. You're just Pikeville. You're just in NAIA. You're just Pikeville. And I said, you know what? I tell you what. We're going to have an open gym Wednesday night. Come on over, bring your son, and we'll work out with our guys. And then after our guys tear the fur off of your son, then you need to reevaluate, and then we'll have another conversation. So people just don't understand, man. And the thing about it is the thing I try to be with my kids is brutally honest all the time. If you're doing it right, I'm going to tell you. If you're not doing it right, I'm going to tell you. If you're good enough to play on that level, whatever level D1, I'm going to tell you. If it's not going to happen, I'm going to tell you that as well. That's a hard conversation as a coach to have with a player or with their parents. But, the sooner the reality sets in, okay, now, all right, am I good enough to play at Kentucky? Absolutely no, I'm not. Am I good enough to play wherever? No, I'm not. But guess what? D2, whomever, they're recruiting me. Okay, NAI, whatever, they're recruiting me, and it goes back to this: what level is recruiting you? You may think you're a D1 player, but if D1 schools aren't recruiting you, guess what? You're not going to be a D1 player. You better figure that out, and you better understand I can go here, have a great career, have a chance to win a national championship, be an All-American, and play, even all the players the University of Pikeville's had playing overseas, and I'll go back to even too, like with Chris Longford. Chris played for Kelly, was a great player at Tennessee, all right, and has had a great career playing overseas, But, and Chris said, I'm too good to play overseas. I'm waiting on the NBA. He'd be sitting at home in Maysville right now,
Right.
and then would have played. He accepted reality and went to work,
Yeah, but it's the same with coaches, though. Like I told you earlier, I spent my first 3 years of like, I'm a basketball guy. Like, I think that I'm a basketball guy. I love the game. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to listen. I'm like a sponge. I soak up things. Like, I'm always in the gym. I'm always, I watch a third grade game. I watch a middle school game. I watch a girls game. I watch a boys varsity game. I watch a D3 college game. Like, I just love to watch basketball. I love the game. I'm passionate about it. But I've never thought that, like, I was above any level of coaching. Like I when I was a volunteer assistant for those 3 years, I felt like I'm here because this is where I'm supposed to be, And when I went to Mason County to coach middle school for Chris O'Hearn and Piper Lindsay, I told myself, I'm here because it's where I'm supposed to be. And when I was working camps all across the country for Kyle Potcotter and for U.S. sports camps and with Camp One, it's always been, I'm here because it's where I'm supposed to be. And, people are always asking me why I'm at the school that I'm at now. I'm there because that's where I'm supposed to be. When you love the game and you genuinely have a passion for the game and you're not afraid of work, you're going to coach where you're supposed to be. And I think that people need to get over that obstacle of, and I want to say there's a difference between goals and aspirations and reality, Yep. And so you can have goals and aspirations, but ultimately what life comes down to is reality. And whether it be right, wrong, indifferent, or fair, you have to do what you have to do. And if that means that you have to take a year off to set yourself up for something better, you got to do it. If that means you got to take, if you're wanting to be a high school coach and you got to take a middle school job for a year, you might have to do it. If you want to coach in the NBA, but the only things out there is an assistant coaching job at a D2 school, if JT Burton calls and he needs you at Tusculum, you got to do it. You have to do what you have to do as a player or coach to progress your career. And sometimes that means not doing what you have envisioned for yourself. Am I right or wrong with that comment?
100%. The easy part of it, the part that the public sees is, all right, when we play on Saturday afternoon or whenever we're playing, all right? That's the easy part. They don't understand the grind that goes behind it. Not only practice, you got weights at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you got practice at 3 after school. Then you got study. You got study hall. Then you got all this other stuff that goes into everything you do. And as a young coach, these guys are kind of blood. A lot of times they're working for free, man. And on whatever level, it's a volunteer on the high school level, it's a volunteer on the college level. All right, yeah, sure, we'll take you. Okay, we'll give you a place to live at Tusculum. We're going to give you a place to whatever, but, guess what? We're not going to pay you very much. So you're basically working for free. But you do that for 2 or 3 years, and you earn it, and you grind and grind and grind like you say, and then pretty soon, hey, we'll go to the president and say, hey, this guy's doing his job. He's doing all right. We're going to lose him. All the time. That's how it works. And on every level, everybody, you got to sweep the floor. You got to mop the floor. You got to wash your uniform. All those things are sacrifices that young coaches have to make to be great. Everybody has done those things. Everybody. Rick Pitino, John Caleb, all those guys at some time in their careers have been that guy, but they had to make those sacrifices. All the great ones will tell you, this is how I started. And you think you're going to start at the top, then you're in for a rude awakening because it's not going to happen.
Everybody is educated now. Everybody is getting an education or working towards an education or higher education is kind of a thing, but something that I try to preach is I think what we're losing sight of in our schools today is, we're not teaching kids trades because everybody's going to college to get it. Everybody's got to get a job, but nobody's got a trade. And there's so many things that kids just can't do now. And, they're surrounded, a lot of the situations, especially inner city kids, they're put in positions where they're surrounded by good people, but they're not willing to pick up on what the good people around them are doing because they're so fixated and infatuated on their ultimate goal. But every time they take one step forward, they take 5 steps back, because they won't allow the people who are trying to help them be of help to them. And as young people, college age, high school age, as young people, what would your advice be to them in terms of, people wanting to support you? What do you say to them when they're telling you that I appreciate what you're saying, but it's not what I want to hear? How do you get over that obstacle of making them understand? Like you spoke on being honest with them. How do you make them accept the honesty?
You know what, man, that's tough. And that's tough. And the thing with is if they trust you, they're going to believe you. And the thing about it is you have to build it, and with trust, you have to be consistent. There can be no tough love. Okay, all right, everybody says, well, you have to have tough love with your players. But guess what? If you don't have love first and that relationship first, then the tough love won't be accepted. Mm-hmm. So You got to be with those guys. You got to tell them the truth every day, all the time, and then hey, this guy's not trying to dog me. He's telling me the truth, and hopefully, sometimes it never takes, man. Sometimes the kid is like, that's not true, and that's usually guys that aren't successful. But the guys that great players. Here's the thing. There's an old coach's adage. Mediocre players don't want to be told anything. Good players want to be coached. Great players want to be told the truth. And if you could get them to trust you to where you could tell them the truth, and they say, "Okay, Coach, you're right," instead of, "Man, hey, this guy's crazy," whatever. But it comes back to developing a relationship. And back in the old days, coaching was do this because I said so. Now, if you do with kids now what happened 30 years ago, then you don't have enough to have a team.
Right.
You got to be not only a coach, but a point guard guy, but you know as well from coaching. You got to be a salesman. They got to buy what you believe in you first and foremost before they believe in anything you're going to teach them. And I think that goes back to that. Is then at the end of the day, all right, here's what we've done. I'll show you this work, and we're doing this, and we've had success now. I'm going to tell you the truth. And then I think it's easier for them to accept that than it would be if you hadn't built that relationship.
Here, that's a great point that you make. Something that I talk to my kids about. I always say during conditioning in October, look at where when we run in Arkansas or when we run a line, look at where you're turning around at. Because the guys that are sitting on the end of the bench, regardless of your talent level, playing for me and playing for you and playing for Kelly and playing for guys who are firm in their beliefs that put work over talent. When you're running your sprint in February, if you're coming up 6 to 8 inches short of the line, that's what the players that want to play but don't know what they have to do to play do, right? When you're coming up 2 or 3 inches short of the line, that's what players who are talented enough to play but not being productive and not putting anything on the stat sheet, that's what they do. Guys who are pretty good players, and they're filling up the stat sheet and they're active and they're part of the game, they touch the line, right? So the guys who want to play are 8 inches short. The guys who get to play but aren't effective are 2 or 3 inches short. The guys who get to play and they're effective, they're touching every line. But the guys who are great are making sure that they're lining up on the line right in front of the door. So on that final one, they can run all the way through the door out in the hall. That's what the great ones run all the way through the wall. The great ones run all the way through the wall. They run all the way through the door. The great ones always run past the line. And kids are not willing to run past the line. But they want to average 20. They want to average 10. They want to average 6. And they want to average 4. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. That's what they want on a stat line on Tuesday and Friday night. But the whole month of October during conditioning and on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, they don't want to touch the line. And it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
You're right, man. Ultimately, this game, and obviously it's a game that we love and we've grown up playing and being around. And to me, it's the greatest game that there is. And I know you feel the same way. Ultimately, this game, no matter how skilled you are, you can be as skilled as Kevin Durant. But ultimately, am I tougher than the guy with in front of me? Well, am I tougher? Can I beat that guy? When there's 4 minutes to play, am I going to make the plays? And not am I going to stand up and beat my chest and push him and elbow him? No, that's not real toughness. Real toughness is am I tougher than that guy? Can I make those plays when it's winning time. We talk to our guys all the time about winning time. Winning time sometimes is the last 2 minutes of the game. It's the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. It's midway through the third quarter. Am I tough enough to make those plays? And toughness is a skill now that has to be taught. If we got 13 guys on our team, maybe 3 of them have learned toughness from your family. The rest of those guys, we have to teach them how to be tough. And you've seen our teams play, and that's one of the things we kind of what? We might not be as talented. We might be as talented. We might be more talented, but we're going to be tougher no matter what. And toughness means making plays, not trying to fight, not doing anything crazy, but making plays when it's time to win. And that's the thing that to me is, am I tougher than the guy in front of me? Are you tougher than the guy in front of me? And if the answer to that is yes, then your team's going to win all the games. If the answer to that is no, I'm just and I'm not tougher for this, that guy's going to win. They got to pitch.
Right. I agree 100%. Before we go, is there anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to show love to? Anybody that you want to, commend or wish a happy birthday? Whatever this is, or any words that you just want to put out there for our listeners. This is your time, Coach.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. You and I have been great friends for a long time now. Jaron, I feel like he's one of my guys. He's one of mine. I feel like I'm part of your all's family.
Absolutely.
And one thing I would tell you is all this food that I see Dean and these guys posting on Facebook, I'm really mad and close, but I'm not invited to some of this stuff, man.
I'll tell you what, you ever make it down, man, we'll have a big barbecue, man, because we do it a lot in the summertime. It's been tough now with all this corona because I cook out and I take pictures and I send it to my Uncle Dean, and then he cooks out and he takes pictures and he sends it to me, and then Jaron's dad may stop over at my grandparents and he may cook out and he'll send pictures to both of us. And so we're still doing it. Everybody's just doing it separately right now, but I'll be glad when we can all get back together. So we will we'll find us a park somewhere in the middle, and we'll have us a big barbecue, man, a big family time. So I appreciate you being on, and you're full of wisdom and full of knowledge, and you're humble, and that's about you. And you're a good basketball coach, but you're also a very, very, very good leader of men, and that's what our society needs right now is more of you, leaders of men. And you're one of the true people that are teachers and not instructors, because everything that you speak on or that you speak about, you give an explanation on why you're saying it. And earlier I spoke on the difference between teachers and instructors. And teachers teach and they break it down, and and we'll put it in layman's terms. If it's 2 + 2, a real teacher is going to do stick math and say 1, 2 + 3, 4, 2 + 2 = 4. An instructor is going to put the paper down in front of you and say, solve this problem. And we have too many instructors in sports right now and not enough teachers. And that is why a lot of our young people are struggling in terms of taking constructive criticism, because when they run into a coach that's a teacher and all they've ever had before was instructors, they don't know how to take that tough love, and they don't know how to take the breakdown. And so you're one of the tough love breakdown guys. I appreciate you, and we'll have you on again, Coach.
It's my pleasure, man. And you're right. And not everybody can play. I'm not for everybody. Not everybody today can play for me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be brutally honest, and I'm going to get you better. But if you want to come somewhere where everybody tells you how wonderful you are, then you don't need to come to Wesley Christian, because it ain't for you.
If I get any players that are Wesley Christian worthy, that are tough, mentally tough kids, you'll be the first call I'll make. So you take care, Coach, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Casey, head coach at Wesley Christian post-grad prep. He is the true of old school And, you know, he comes with a lot of adages, and he means what he says, and he says what he means. But he is a very, very good coach, a very, very good man, and I'm privileged to have him as a friend. So that was episode 36. We're moving on, man. We're moving on. 36 of Mount Orab Sports Complex Talk Sports to Me with the Sports Guru. That'll wrap up tonight's episode. Tomorrow we will have Scott Kerr, Purcell Marion head coach, and Delano Thomas, head coach at Shawnee State University. We'll have a double episode tomorrow. It'll be about an hour long. So tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Mount Orab Sports Complex. Talk sports to me. I'm out.